7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, JOX Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Rich Jones to my left.
Good morning.
Producer Pops is out this morning. He is scuba diving, but no worry, we have producer Walker in the studio. She's helping us out here over on the radio side, pushing those buttons, setting those commercials off. She's doing her job. She's doing a bang-up job at that as well.
Paying the bills.
She is.
That's what the commercials do.
Hey, she keeps us alive on that side. All right, guys. The big news this week, Alabama missed out on a big-time recruit to Indiana of all teams, Monshun Sales, number 1 wide receiver in the class of 2027. It didn't go Bama's way yesterday. It was unfortunate. It was kind of set in thought during the week because of the flipping of Simmons from Auburn. Alabama flipped him earlier in the week. So I made the assumption that Alabama was not, they knew where they were at with Monshun Sales, and it wasn't going to go well for them. So what had happened, they decided to flip Simmons, give some of that NIL money from Monshun Sales and give it to Simmons because they knew it wasn't going well. So going into yesterday, I knew specifically that Sales wasn't coming to Alabama. I knew that Ohio State still had a shot, but in the end, he's from Indianapolis. Originally, Sales was from Alabama, which made that connection strong. His nickname was Bama coming up. No longer. It's now Showtime. But that connection to Indianapolis was too big to draw away for Indiana. They knew they had the shot. They went hard and heavy after him. Texas also lost out. So did LSU. I think Texas is going to lose out even bigger in the end because Easton Royal has now been projected to flip from Texas to LSU, another 5-star wide receiver. So LSU already knew going in that they were the long shot.
Yeah.
So they made their attempt at Easton Royal because it was a strong connection. They knew they could probably get him. They would have a better shot at getting him than Monshun Sales. So now Texas is on the backdrop.
2 questions for you.
Yeah.
One, I feel like Showtime's been used as a nickname, once or twice before.
It has been, yes.
And 2, this is like just them say they're not signing anything yet, right? They can't sign.
No, it's not signing. I mean, he's a letter of intent.
Yeah,
I mean, the signing day is not till next year.
Yeah, what, February?
Yeah.
February like 2nd or 4th
signing
or
day is not
something.
big anymore. I mean, we could totally see when I saw that Easton Royal could flip to LSU. I think it's a 60% confidence in that happening. This is going to open up a lot of NIL money for Texas.
Yeah,
and Easton Royal goes down to signs his letter of intent to Baton Rouge. So that NIL money can now be redirected toward Monshun Sales. Now it is a long shot. You saw my X yesterday. That's what I wrote about this. It is a long shot to actually have that happen, but that much freedom out of NIL, you can go after 2 or 3 quality players, or you can make the big splash and try to go get Monshun Sales and pry him out of Indiana's hands.
And this goes back to what we've talked about multiple times about the calendar and how crazy it is now with college football, college sports in general. That we're in. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're in July, right? And we're talking about basically a commit putting a hat on, which is what we're used to seeing in February.
Yeah.
And now we know that none of this means anything because at any point in time, a letter of intent is worth about the piece of paper and his autograph is worth right now. So he could easily flip 16 more times between now and when he actually signs his, actually signs with a school, correct?
Yeah, he could. I mean, the amount of confidence that I saw in a couple guys, Alec Keyser, he hosts Indiana Live on Voice of College Football. I was hosting with him yesterday, and he has confidence that this is in a doubt. This is not going to be a flipping situation.
Gotcha,
Monshun Sales is completely signed. Now, to be fair to Alec, he is an Indiana fan.
Yeah, okay.
But at the same time, he's very good with this stuff at the same time. So the confidence is there that he won't flip. Now he's Indiana has their grips around him. He is from Indianapolis. He's in this sphere. He's around Indiana.
And that
football.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So it's going to be even harder to make that flip when he's in your backyard.
Yeah.
Someone
absolutely.
has to come in and flip him, right? So
I mean, we've seen crazier, but I agree with from everything I've heard from you and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a lock, but at this point with college football, I don't think anything is until I actually see a kicker put his toe to pigskin. I don't even know that we're going to have a season. Like I'm that little confident in everything to do with college football right now.
Now, voice of college football too, right? Matthew Miller, he hosts Texas Live, right? He was confident in this because of Easton Roll. They had Easton Roll already. They weren't going to panic. Now, Easton Roll possibly going to LSU. I haven't got his take on it. He's somebody I do want to get the take on to see where he thinks Texas could go now if Easton Roll does flip, and if there is confidence that they could try to make the big money grab and go after Sales.
Well, I mean, and depending on how great Texas's season is this year,
right?
You could end up with enough money in that piggy bank to just say yes to all of it. If they win a championship this year, the NIL money that's already available for Texas is going to do nothing but grow.
Right.
You're going to see the same at some of these places. Like the same could be said for Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon's got a lot of NIL money. A championship just means significantly more NIL money. See Indiana, for example, in this process. I think the same could be said for a multitude of teams going it specifically this season. Florida. Everybody keeps talking about Florida being a dark horse. I don't necessarily see it, but I've heard a bunch of people talk about it.
It's Summerall. Summerall is coming in there with a vengeance. He is coming in there to win football games. Summerall is a great coach. He is a guy that everybody is looking at from the last coaching carousel cycle. He is the one that is going to make stuff happen. It's him and Alex Gullish. There's just not that much confidence in him at Auburn with Byron Brown starting at quarterback, even though he's the highest rated quarterback in the SEC. Compared to his last year's stats where he was down in the American League. But he has that 91 percentile of efficiency for quarterback.
Yeah.
So there's confidence with Alex Gullish down there, but there's not confidence that they think is going to transform to wins. So Summerall, where he is at, the situation he is at in Florida, they have the highest confidence in him right now.
You take out the last 6 or 8 national championships, and you look around and you look at Florida, Virginia Tech, Texas, Oregon. I'm sure I'm missing a Michigan. Well, no, Michigan won one recently.
Yeah.
Lord, even LSU at this point. These are schools, universities, programs that have a substantial amount of money that a championship would just blow it out of the water. You look at Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, the money's there. The money they're going to have is there. Another championship this year, it doesn't really change that number that much. There's some schools on the outside that Texas Tech. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Texas Tech this year. They're in a very down league. They've got a ton of money came in. They've got a great coach.
Look, and I think, and barring Texas Tech's success, I mean, they still have a phenomenal defense over there at Texas Tech. This whole situation has created a void of who is the top spot in the Big 12. And that void existed for the 10 years prior to Texas Tech making the big jump last year.
Right.
And everyone in the conference, I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times that, someone was picked 12th to finish in the conference and they finished first.
Arizona State
was
2 years
Scatteraboo.
ago?
Yeah. Sam Levitt and Cam Scatteraboo were on that team, right?
Well, and it's like,
and they made that jump.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be forgetting somebody.
Right.
Barring Cam Newton. When's the last time we had somebody in the SEC that you were just like, never heard of this kid, and all of a sudden 4 or 5 games in, you're like, you exclude Cam Newton, maybe Joe Burrow, but I think people still knew him.
Well,
No
Burrow
one
was on the team prior to him blowing up. He was on the team. He was the starting quarterback the year
right.
before he blew up, and then he was at Ohio State before that. But he was just in that quarterback room where he just couldn't find room at Ohio State.
I mean, what I'm getting at is Cam Scatterbo went from
nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah, and he gets known as the guy now who put his head through a brick wall.
And he ended up a first round? Was he a first round or a second round draft pick?
He was a second round draft pick, if I remember right.
Right, but he went from and carried a team, not necessarily all by himself, but because of his nobody knows. You don't get that in the SEC.
He made a name for Kenny Dillingham down there at Arizona State. Yeah. Kenny Dillingham is the coach he is today because of that team. Him and Cam Scatterbo and Sam Levitt, they helped create the image of what Kenny Dillingham is and what he is about. And it created an opportunity for Kenny Dillingham's name to get out there. Because before that, I mean, he was known by Arizona State fans as the guy who had, been with Arizona State for so long.
Right.
And he's finally this head coach, and he's a young head coach, but man, it made a name for himself. So I do want to talk one other thing, right? So the Alabama aftershock for this Monshun Sales situation. So like I was saying, they prepared for this with Malcolm Simmons, wide receiver from Selma. He had flipped earlier in the week from Auburn to Alabama. He's a 3-star recruit. He's 5'8". A lot of people want to sit there and say, oh, well, you ended up getting a 3-star who's 5'8", playing wide receiver instead of Monshun Sales. Okay. Osani Gales lifted to a 5-star not that long ago. He was a 4-star. Now he's a 5-star. So the backdrop of if this Monshun situation goes south, they had Osani Gales in their back pocket. They still do.
And it sounds like they may have already known
this sales decision. He was informed.
Sailing away.
Yes, it was sailing away, right? The only issue is now is you have to retain Osani Gales because Washington is still going heavily after him.
Right.
And for Alabama, like I was saying yesterday, it's not the end of the world for Alabama. Time is going to pass on. They've chose quality over quantity in this coming recruiting class of 2027. It may be 39th, but that's because there's just not a lot of players on it. You got to remember how many seniors are on the roster this year. It's like 16.
Right. And then if I'm not mistaken, 2028, we're
number one recruiting class.
Yeah, we're like, it's like, so you have some room to play with,
There is, yeah. And you have a core for 2027. You have Elijah Haven, you have Trent Seaburn, you have Elijah Newkirk. That's a 5-star in Haven, and then 2 4-stars right there. And then Osani Gales now a 5-star. There's a core element of that recruiting class in 2027. Adrian Clem is getting to work on the offensive line. He just recruited Blaylock as a 4-star in 2028. The offensive lineman, he can play the interior. He's very interchangeable. Adrian Clem's doing some work. What I want to see coming up in the season, Adrian Clem has a lot to do with the offensive line. He has rebuilt the thing. No more Chris Kaplovic. He's over at Auburn. So good luck to the little brothers over there on the other side of the state. Kaplovic, you know what he did to our offensive line. Now you can have him, and we'll be happy about it. So Adrian Clem is going to have a lot of work ahead of him at the offensive line for Alabama as the new coach there. But he's got a resume. He can compete. He has done some good work on the offensive line. So it's a huge job right now to actually get the offensive line right.
And there wasn't a lot of talk during this recruiting class of this offensive line.
No.
We went for XYZ guy and we didn't get him. It was very much, he signed. He signed. Where he signed. Okay. And it seemed like they got, at least it did publicly, everything's the show that you make it publicly, right? It never seemed like, like you're talking about here with Sales of us, we got a chance to get him. But when we didn't get him, right? There didn't seem to be that with this offensive line coming in. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, like the entire offensive line is a transfer in.
Beside Carroll had 500 snaps last year for Alabama. He's the only returning starter in the offensive line.
My apologies. Correct. And so it was like we went and handpicked, we want that guy. And he was like, okay, cool, I'll come.
Yeah.
So it is new as this offensive line is to one another. None of them are new to playing the offensive line. And I don't know why we're making such a big deal of that. I mean, when you play in high school, when you're going to college, you've never played with the guy to your left and right either. So, and if we go by the old Alabama adage of do your job.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what the issue is the O-line right now, and this is the number one issue that I'm going to hit on day one, and it's chemistry. Good offensive lines now in college football, they're together for 2-3 years. This one is going to be together than less than 8 months when they get on the field in the fall. A lot of this offensive line group is put up of very experienced individuals. Now they're young, but they're experienced, right? You have a couple from the SEC. I think 2 of them of which have played SEC football. They're just young. They have limited amount of snaps. Now they have been together for all of spring, all of summer, all of fall camp. We're going to be together for all of fall camp. So they're going to be not gelled together completely, but I think it's enough to actually get a sample of what you could see. I think there's still going to be issues on the offensive line this year. What you have to do consistently is you have to protect for the quarterback. Look, it's not worth putting Keelan Russell out there when it can't be used to his full ability because he can't get out there. He can't get out of the pocket when he needs to. He can't get enough time to throw. So if you have to revert back to Austin Mack, who can throw the ball downfield maybe better, that's what you have to do because Keelan right now, I think it's been leaked that he is the starter. He is the expected starter for Alabama. So, Keelan, it's going to be an issue if you cannot get his full potential out there because the offensive line is an issue, and you have to be able to run block too. Run blocking has to be consistent this year to break that mantra of what Kalen DeBoer has had the last couple of years is he can't run the ball. And even at Washington, he didn't run the ball.
Right, yeah.
The offensive line wasn't great at Washington either.
Well,
Penix was just that good to get out of there.
And maybe that's why Keelan Russell is the lean towards the starter is because he has the ability to get out of trouble.
Right. And that could be the big reason.
And I believe I've said from the get-go, as far as the quarterback is concerned, the quarterback that wins the locker room wins the position.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's able to use his talents to help solidify the offensive line, then it's a no-brainer to me that he should be the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this offensive line it can just absolutely wreck other people's defenses, then just throw me or you could go out there and quarterback. But we do play in the SEC. The University of Alabama, who we're talking about, and everybody's defensive line is good.
That's true.
The worst team in the conference has a really good defensive line.
Correct. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, JOX Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. Guys, if you want to get on the show here, you can. Hit us up in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook. If you're on the radio side, you can join us at Off the Bench CFB Show on YouTube and at Off the Bench on Facebook if you want to get in here and let your opinion be heard. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, JOX Huntsville. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Rich Jones here with me as well.
Good morning.
Scoop Steve's out this morning, still in his major motion picture as Pops is not with us again. He's not with us next week.
Is that going to be a I will not be with us next weekend.
I know we have a big show lined up next week, but I don't have all the specifics in yet, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh, I'm glad you. Speaking of big show, I heard you were on a show this week. Anything good come from that?
Hey guys, of course, Voice College Football 365. I was on that channel as we did the Monshun Sales Commitment Watch Party with Alec Keyser, Matthew Miller, both Alec Keyser from Indiana Live and Matthew Miller from Texas Live on the Voice of College Football. As you can see me during the week on Alabama Primetime on Alabama Voice of College Football on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. But one thing specifically hit me back. I was just looking back at that show. You can go check that out if you'd like to. But there was a comment left specifically about me, okay? Indiana Sports Fanatic wrote this. Kelsey is an idiot. Saban is no longer in the building.
I mean, what? I don't.
Both those things are not incorrect. Both those things are not incorrect. But what is incorrect is I don't think I said anything about Saban being in the building. DeBoer's obviously the head coach there, and I'd invite him to show me the timestamps of when I said Saban was still the head coach there, and we will talk.
I mean, technically, Saban does still have an office there.
He does still have an office.
And I did see a video of him playing catch with his grandson on the field.
I will even live off the technicality on this. If I left anything open for room where I said it, I'll accept it. I don't think I did, though. I don't think I
Are there any players still on the team that were recruited and signed by Saban?
Recruited and signed, probably Ryan Williams.
Okay.
That class.
Was he coached by, but he wasn't coached by him?
I think because remember, Ryan Williams decommitted when Saban retired.
Yes.
And then he immediately recommitted a couple weeks later.
So there's no one on the team who, I mean, I guess there probably is some sort of 5 or 6 years.
Maybe the seniors now, the limited amount of seniors, maybe. And that's probably why you see why this team is so young, because a lot of those Saban guys left, like Caleb Downs, who would be a senior this year.
Where's he at now?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Sorry.
No, but I think a lot of those guys you would see, a lot of them left, right? So because that shows you the 16 seniors. Don't quote me on the number. I think that's right on the Alabama roster right now. But maybe because Ryan Williams is a junior, right?
Yes.
Bray Hubbard would be a senior, right?
He's 19 now. I mean, is he any good anymore?
I don't know. I mean, excuse me, Ryan Coleman Williams.
Yes,
sorry. Yes. My apologies there. But again, going back to Monshun Sales is we're going to end off on this topic in a minute. For Alabama specifically, the wide receiver group, nobody needs to panic with not getting Sales. Is the possibility open in the future? Maybe, but it's going to be tough to go and grab him out of the backyard of Indiana in Indianapolis. But here's the question that I would ask. Would you rather have Cedarian Morgan or Monshun Sales? Now, the idea was him to pair him up with Osani Gales as well. Had the 3 Musketeers right there. Osani Gales, Monshun Sales, and Cedarian Morgan. That was the idea. And then Elijah Haven down the road in a couple years at quarterback, he would have been the guy to go to. Sales and Elijah Haven, they're best friends off the field. So a lot of people thought that connection could help the Alabama connection as well. But inevitably, it didn't. Right now, if the either or was Monshun Sales or Cedarian Morgan is the guy you want on the field. More physically active. He's going to be that one-on-one wide receiver guy. Obviously, Sales would have complemented a lot of the other wide receivers.
Yeah.
But there's some overlap.
I guess it depends on what team you're asking. For Alabama, you kind of, the Sales with where he fits in, yes. But just a general football team inserted here.
He would have had a role, but his role would have been slim because it kind of overlaps with their guys. He's going to take some production away from a lot of other guys.
Yeah.
Cedarian Morgan has a specific role on this team. He's the one-on-one guy. He is big. He is huge. He is the next Julio Jones, right? So there is no doubt.
That's a big name to drop in.
They've been dropping it. Everybody's been dropping that on Cedarian Morgan, that he's the next Julio Jones.
Man, that's a lot. That's a lot to.
If enough people around the building say it, then I guess it's okay to say, right? So that's been the big mantra for Cedarian Morgan. So he'll have his role as the one-on-one guy. He can pair next to Ryan Coleman-Williams. When Noah Rogers comes back as well, they'll be able to pair him with him. Latsier Brooks. So the wide receiver core is going to be shaped up real nice. Even for the future, there shouldn't be an issue. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. JOX Huntsville, this is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, JOX Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Huffine, co-host Richie Jones, shooting here to the left.
Howdy.
ESPN dropped their FPI predictions this week, and specifically, we're going to look at the Alabama season right now.
The Football Power Index.
It is. So basically, ESPN has us going 10-2. And guys, if you want to get in on the conversation here, you can. You can hit us up on YouTube at Off the Bench CFB Show, and you can hit us up on Facebook at Off the Bench. If you're on the radio side
and on X,
stick there, come on over. Either one, you can hit us up on there in the comment section here on YouTube. Just come right on over. So Alabama.
Hold on, before you go too deep into this, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If right now it is correct me if I'm wrong, it's July 18th.
Okay.
And somebody slid you a piece of paper, Bama's going 10-2. Do you sign it right now?
Yes. I'll sign it.
Okay.
Bama has the opportunity to go 10-2. I'll take it.
What if the 2 is Tennessee and Auburn?
Okay. So I'll tell you what. We're going to go through these, and I will give you the percentages on what ESPN predicts Alabama is going through, okay?
All right.
East Carolina is sitting at a 94.6%.
Ooh, it's going to be a tough game.
Tough game, right? Oh, get this, too. I read this week. East Carolina. Now, this is based a lot on previous years, this model that was used, and I do not remember the model that it was named. So it's based off previous off seasons coming into the jump, how that's going to do, right? East Carolina is the highest rated group of 16. Highest rated.
Well, way to go, East Carolina.
The East Carolina game going to be a shocker in Tuscaloosa when they get off to a hot start.
Appalachian State coming into town?
That's what a lot of people fantasize and want to predict, but I'm sorry for the Pirates. I think, are they the Purple Pirates or just the Pirates?
The East Carolina, I know their color is purple, but they're the Pirates. So, yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking Purple Pirates for. East Carolina's going to roll into town.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people want to fantasize of a hot start in shocking Tuscaloosa.
Oh, it's going to be hot in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, it'll be smeltering hot. Okay, moving on to week 2. This is the game that I think everybody is underrating for Alabama in Lexington. Kentucky and Alabama sitting at an 82.5% in favor of Alabama.
It would now be a good time to tell the audience what me and you agreed off the show yesterday.
We can do that.
So last week, the hostess with the mostest, Kelsey here, said that Kentucky was going to end the season top 25.
Yes.
I said they wouldn't make a bowl game. And so we have placed a small wager on this. If Kentucky finishes the season in the top 25, during the Alabama-Kentucky basketball game, I have to wear a Kentucky jersey.
Yes.
And if Kentucky doesn't make a bowl game during said game, you have to wear an Alabama basketball jersey.
Fair enough. If people do not know, I have a split allegiance to basketball and football. Football is strictly Alabama. Basketball is strictly Big Blue Nation in the wintertime.
And I, like a true fan, pull for Alabama, whether we're playing football, basketball, tiddlywinks, cheerleading, softball.
Yeah. This is, and if anybody wants to know, this has been explained more than 1,000 times on any other show.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
you can go check it out on there, right? Okay. There's also been another hot take that and they didn't go public this. We were talking about this after the show yesterday. If they want to go public with them, I'll let them. I won't name any names. They think that Dylan Raiola is going to win the job at Oregon.
Okay.
Now, there's multiple possibilities with this. Okay. If Dylan Raiola were to beat out Dante Moore over at Oregon this year, Dante Moore would end up in Kentucky next fall.
That's next fall.
Next fall.
That's not this fall.
No, it's not this fall. Okay. So Dante Moore. Okay. Let's say, and I put this opportunity out there. If that does not happen, then Dylan Raiola transfers to Texas Tech if he doesn't win this job next year. Continues the Patrick Mahomes mirror.
Texas Tech would need a good quarterback at that point.
They would need a good quarterback. Okay, week 3, Florida State. Alabama has an 81.7% of winning that football game.
So far we're over 80 in all 3 games.
Let's say we're 3-0 by this point.
Okay, I like it.
All right,
I like it. I'll take it.
South Carolina, sitting at a 78.8.
Ooh, we've dropped from the 80s.
Yes.
Hopefully, by the time we play that game, the temperature will be 78
Right,
degrees.
100%. Right. Okay. At Mississippi State, 85.2.
I feel like that's low.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think Mississippi State's going to be a strong team. I think Levy is out the door by week 6.
Now, that game could.
Now, this actually, week 5, if I'm saying week 6, Alabama could put the nail in the coffin for Jeff Levy.
It also could put the exact opposite. If they were to beat Alabama, Jeff Levy might get a extension, a statue. They may rename the stadium after
him. Remember, this is a rivalry game.
Allegedly.
So it must be treated like a rivalry game.
Absolutely.
So in fairness, if he were to win that game, if Levy were to take down the Crimson Tide in Starkville, that's an extension right there.
Yeah,
You got an extension waiting for your office the next morning.
That'd be a big deal.
It would be. All right. Georgia. This is when the tough schedule gets tough. This is the FPI ESPN's rankings first lost for Alabama at 41.8%.
That's still not terrible.
It's not.
I mean, when you're talking about we're 85 to beat.
Now, what sucks about this is also factoring in the home probability for this because you have home field advantage, which this year is in Tuscaloosa.
It's not taking into effect the Kirby Smart in Tuscaloosa usually doesn't work good for Kirby Smart, but
it doesn't. But it's a fun game.
Yep. I'll take. You know what?
Okay. So there's your first loss. You are 4-5. You're 5-1 by this point.
I'll take 41%.
Okay. At Tennessee in Neyland Stadium, 59.1%.
That's too close.
There's your first one. There's where you get to thinking. But it is still a win according to ESPN.
Yep.
Okay. So you're 6-1 now.
Okay.
Texas A&M next week in Tuscaloosa, 58.2%.
Man.
I like that percentage.
I prefer 88%, but okay.
Yeah, but you're not going to get 88 with Elko and returning Marcel Reed at quarterback, who's a Heisman candidate. That is going to be a good team.
That stat right there reminds me of a question I want to ask you when we get done with this.
Right.
Okay.
Next week at LSU.
We get a bye.
Yes. Oh, you're right. There was a bye there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that on the sheet. I just had the games. At LSU at 43.8%. There's your second loss.
I
think LSU's too highly rated right now.
I do too.
It's the whole team. Okay. 3/4 of it is brand new. They've never been in Baton Rouge.
LSU has just as much of a chance of going undefeated this season as they do losing every game. Like with the team and the talent and everything they've put around them.
I also think that Lane Kiffin, it's a matter of time before he wins a national championship in Baton Rouge.
It just ain't this year.
I don't think it's this year, but I think it's a matter of time. It just depends how long it's going to take.
Yeah. I could see why they've got this. It is at Baton Rouge. It's going to be at night. I know they haven't announced that yet, but it's going to be the night game, assuming LSU's good at that point. Assuming LSU, like if you go by the stats, worst case scenario, Alabama's got 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia and A&M or Tennessee, one or the other, LSU could have 2 or 3 losses by this point.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a game that could go in with both teams having 3 losses or both teams being undefeated.
Look, the LSU season is going to be decided by what happens in Oxford.
Week 3.
Oxford decides this.
Yes.
Oxford decides the type of season Lane Kiffin has.
Yes.
Now, it could be a wake-up call for Lane Kiffin, and he just goes on a hot streak after he loses.
Mm-hmm.
Or he could get absolutely pummeled, kicked out of Oxford, ran out by the fans after a field storming.
Yep.
And
they did.
LSU's complete confidence is gone. Or he could win. He could win in fashion.
If Ole Miss hasn't already started the GoFundMe to pay the field storming fee for that game, they're missing an opportunity.
You know how much money Lane Kiffin has spent on his private jet issued by LSU? It's like over $100,000 already.
That's awesome.
All right.
I too, if I had a private jet being paid by somebody else.
All right. Next game at Vanderbilt, 75.6%.
Okay.
That's for Vanderbilt. Now, this is post Clark Liam. or not Clark Lea. Clark Lea is still there, and that's the big home dog shot for Vanderbilt right there. That's what they're clinging on to right now is Clark Lea is still the head coach there. I wouldn't say for that long. I think he's going to eventually move on. But post Diego Pavia.
Oh, his mom won't be there.
Oh, that's the bad news.
Anyways, moment of silence for his mom gone.
With Pavia gone, I don't think Vanderbilt's going to be the same team. I think they're going to revert back to 7-5.
I find it interesting that they have Mississippi State was in the 80s and Vandy is in the 70s.
Right? I mean, so they're viewing Vanderbilt as a better team than Mississippi State.
By about 7 or 8%, if my math is correct.
Well, if that's going to be, they're going to be at the bottom point in the SEC. Now, it also says something about South Carolina, too, though, who's another team that could be on that step of right there in the middle of the SEC, but could be down there at the top end of the bottom. You don't know with Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer's in the hot seat, kind of. Lenore Sellers back quarterback. But, it's going to be, I don't know. South Carolina and Vanderbilt, those are two close teams with Mississippi State thrown in there as well. So so there's definitely that bottom part of the SEC. They're still giving them a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Chattanooga next week, 99.0%. I don't know where does that 1% come from?
I mean, I guess you kind of, there's always
benefit of the doubt, maybe?
There's always a chance.
I guess so. I guess any different Saturday, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then you have Auburn at 77.6% in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
The fact that Auburn's, wait a minute, Vandy was what, 75.6?
Yeah, 6.
Auburn's only 2% better than Vandy?
Yeah.
I guess Vandy is at Vandy.
Right.
And Auburn's in Tuscaloosa.
There you see on the YouTube side, we just put up the graphic of the win probability for it. So now that we can take that in, we see that the danger point toward this in the season is Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and LSU.
Yeah, we knew
all of those games under 60%, right? We know that going in. I think Georgia's rated correctly. Maybe a little bit too much in the favor of the Bulldogs. I
think that's about right.
Yeah. Why did I almost say Stetson Bennett? He's not the quarterback there. It's Gunnar Stockton, the quarterback there. I always confuse their names. Am I the only one that does that?
No, it's because Georgia's had like 7 quarterbacks for the last 8 years.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. I mean, Georgia, you got a returning quarterback. He's efficient. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Gunnar Stockton. Okay. Tennessee is, because it's in Neyland, there is so much inconsistency across the board in Tennessee right now.
Yeah.
Their defense, I mean, they have a new defensive coordinator, but they lost what was his name? The Penn State transfer. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
The wide receiver. Yeah.
No, he's a defensive end.
No, the defensive end. Yeah. They also lost a wide receiver.
Oh, okay.
They've lost
there's inconsistently at Tennessee right now. I think there's a little bit of a culture problem happening there. And I think it's a problem that they brought in from transfers and invited a transfer or a culture problem within their building. So Tennessee is going to be weird, but it's in Neyland. So that is going to be a tough game for Alabama no matter what in Neyland. Texas A&M is probably going to be the most difficult game of the year.
If Alabama wins the other 8.
Yes.
And goes 2-2 during that stretch of 4 games. No one in their right mind would be upset with that.
Well, no, nobody would in their right mind would be upset with that, but
regardless of which 2, Georgia and LSU, we lose to both of them. We lose to Georgia.
You have to win 2 of these games.
Right.
You have to win what they're calling what I'm calling the danger zone, I guess. You have to win 2 of these games. You have to win Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, or LSU. You have to win. You can go 2-2 in that stretch.
Yes.
And you'll be fine. That is playoff football. Now, we're going to get a little deeper into this on the other side, talk about the playoff probability, and, of course, among other things within the FPI rankings of ESPN. Eli, hit us up on YouTube. Mississippi State surprised some people this season.
Mississippi State is always that team that beats one team they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But then they always lose to one team they're not supposed to.
Eli, Mississippi State has to invest in the football program rather than the baseball program. Because if you invest in football, it pays for the baseball program. But if you don't if you decide to invest in baseball instead of the football program, it won't take care of football and it won't take care of any other sports besides baseball. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville, this is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back on the other side. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Richie Jones, sitting to the left of me. We're in the middle of talking about the FBI rankings, courtesy of ESPN here, for Alabama this coming fall. And we've broke down the regular season and how they're predicting it to go for Alabama. Okay, the next step in this is their projected record, which ESPN is saying 8.6 wins and 3.6 losses. So on the high end, you're sitting at 10-2. On the low end, you're down at 8-4.
Yeah, which is a huge difference.
It is. I mean, that is
10-2. You're in the playoff.
9-3. You have a lot of questions. You're going into Selection Sunday with a prayer. 10-2, you're in.
Yeah, right.
Of course, it also depends on the SEC championship. Assuming at 10-3 or 9-3, you don't play in it. 10-2, you will play in it, and there's your guarantee.
Maybe. I don't know. This is me.
I mean, who else is going to go? I mean, Georgia, A&M,
Texas.
Depending
on if we lose.
LSU, maybe. That's a long shot.
Yeah,
it's a long shot, man. Ole Miss.
All right, you ready for my crazy question for you?
Okay.
The state of Texas will have the same number of playoff teams as the Big Ten.
3-3?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that Texas A&M, and Texas Tech all make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So your Big Ten would be Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana?
I think between Indiana and Ohio State, depends on who wins that game, and depends on what Texas does. If Ohio State loses to Texas and then loses to Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Where does Whittingham sit in all this? How does Whittingham affect the Michigan program? Because you got a Bryce Underwood returning in Michigan.
I think you could have a season where what happened to the SEC last year, where the Big Ten cannibalizes itself because there's no actual superiority, like head and shoulders above team, and there's this round robin of winnings and losings, and Iowa beats somebody they're not supposed to. Wisconsin beats somebody they're not supposed to. So the state of Texas has the same number of playoff teams as the entire Big Ten.
I think Wisconsin's going to fall off the face of the earth. I think Luke Fickell is going to get fired and ended up back at Cincinnati, who's not in the American now. They're in the Big 12 now. So Luke Fickell in the Big 12 could be a success story, knowing he can't compete in the Big 10 with Wisconsin, but he could probably do it in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Now for Indiana, I think there is not a massive drop off, but I don't think you have Josh Hoover is not the same quarterback as Fernando Mendoza for Cignetti over there. I think they're going to come up short of the playoffs, but almost make it. And Indiana fans have been hate me because they have been on my back consistently saying that I don't know football. I don't know ball because I take a take. And that's how it is. I don't know ball. I don't know ball, guys, especially when it comes to Indiana football. But Alabama, the playoff probability is 41.3%. The SEC championship probability at 10.4%. National championships at 3.7. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. We'll be right back here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. 7:30 a.m., 1039 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine. Co-host Richie Jones here with me as well for the second hour. Producer Pops is playing Scuba Steve today, as he will not be with us, as he is in the next motion picture of Scuba Steve.
This sequel no one asked for, or is it the prequel?
I have no clue.
It's got to be the prequel.
I don't think there was a second one.
No,
Big Daddy. I don't think there was a second movie. It'd be hard to do with how old everybody is. No, I know that. Side note for a second. I know Adam Sandler's doing a lot of remakes right now of his old movies.
Yeah. When he's not officiating weddings.
Cole and Dylan Sprouse were the main characters in that movie, the little kids.
Yeah.
They were the twins and they played one character. They're way too old and they're not even acting. One is acting.
Yeah,
I think it's Cole Sprouse. Dylan Sprouse is a coffee guy now.
But for the right amount of money, you could get them as a cameo.
Right, you could. 100%.
Speaking of Adam Sandler, the dude officiated the second most anticipated wedding in the history of the world.
Well, Adam Sandler is the perfect person to officiate a wedding.
They said he sang a little bit. He went into character.
No, he actually has songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a complete dork. You know the whole thing with the wedding.
Yes.
The bride is supposed to have something new, something old, something borrowed, something blue. Do you know what Taylor's something blue was?
No.
The Empire State Building.
All right, something blue is the Empire State Building. We don't have an Empire State Building in Alabama, but what we do have is we have the comment section galore going off. DJ Primetime hitting us up. Roll Tide, right back at you, DJ Primetime.
It's always a good day to roll.
Rudy the Boxer, he's new here. He's hitting us up as well. You're out of your mind thinking Big Ten will only get 3 teams in. Okay. This is the SEC Joy Boy propaganda. 38-3 hashtag Who's Your Daddy.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? I didn't get that hashtag until I just read it out loud. Hoover's probably better. Hoover has the most passing yards in college football, and he is the most touchdowns in college football. Now he's going to have the greatest coach who ever lived. Do the math. Eli also hitting us up.
The greatest coach that ever lived. Nick Saban's coming back to coach Hoover.
Coach Hoover?
Yeah.
Wow. Hoover isn't the quarterback.
I know, but he's going to coach him. He's going to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want him in Indiana, but
correct me if I'm wrong. You just read that
by technicality, he has insinuated that Nick Saban is coming to coach.
Yeah, at Indiana.
Huh. There you go. Okay, all right.
Congratulations, Indiana. Y'all might actually go. Y'all may not fall off. I apologize.
Rudy the Boxer's also taking the hottest take that you can. 16-0 national championships or national champions. Indiana Hoosiers.
Is he referring to last season? Because, yes, they were 16-0 last year and won the national championship.
Rudy the Boxer, you little Bama boys, enjoy your 9-4 seasons. Bama boy thinks they know all because great chief cheat Nick Saban. Nick Saban's the greatest cheat ever. Rudy, are you aware of where Cignetti has his roots at?
where Cignetti learned.
Cignetti was Alabama.
You might want to Google Nick Saban. And
he's under the Nick Saban coaching tree. That's just the point of it all.
And how many 9-4 seasons has the University of Alabama had in the last 20 years?
None.
How many 9-4 seasons has Indiana had?
Because they've had 2 good years. Eli hitting us up too. Indiana fans think they know ball because 2 good seasons.
It wasn't even 2 good seasons. It was 1 great season, and the season before.
I mean, it was good for Indiana.
For them, yes, you are.
Good for Indiana. It was. Rudy, we invite the
banter,
the banter that you bring.
I mean, you're wrong, but
we just know you're wrong. But we will certainly invite criticism here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. All right, moving along, guys. We have media days coming up here in a couple days for SEC. ACC has already taken place. With that is coming questions for the season. Specifically, let's start with the ACC. Let's start with Mike Norvell and the Florida State Seminoles.
There's a lot of questions there.
So Norvell is on my hot seat watch list going into the season, along with a lot of the coach, Deion Sanders, of course, Belichick. There's a lot of coaches fitting into that room, right? 8 wins or bust is what Mike Norvell is in. Now, there's a lot of issues with this statement because as a fan, 8 wins or bust is how we should think about Mike Norvell as not getting fired. There's an issue here, though. Now, this is a Danny Cannell statement as well. Florida State, former quarterback. All right. Norvell would probably be owed approximately $45.6 million if he would be fired after the 2026 season. There is an 81.7 chance that Alabama also wins that game against Florida State in a return matchup, correct?
Yes.
So is 8 wins enough to save Mike Norvell from the dumpster fire that he has created at Florida State?
Should it be? No. Is it? Probably.
You have one statement win over the last couple of years over Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Norvell can hang his hat on since his glorious season where he was undefeated and he missed the playoff. You do not have a Jared Verse anymore. You do not have a Travis at quarterback.
Mm-mm.
There is no hope that I'm seeing from Mike Norvell right now. Their offensive coordinator from last year, who was Gus Malzahn, is now with the Auburn Tigers.
Oh yeah, he's back
as a
the Gus Bus.
The Gus Bus is back there in Auburn.
It left Tallahassee and broke down in Opelika again. Yeah,
the hope that Florida State could actually maintain a good offense this season is thrown out the window.
I'm gonna tell you this:
Ashton Daniels is their starting quarterback, former Auburn quarterback.
The Florida State's questions start getting answered week 2.
SMU?
SMU is a underrated program right now.
Yeah.
Then that's in Tallahassee, and then they have to come to Tuscaloosa, Virginia, at Louisville. Miami's going to absolutely Miami might put up 1,004 points in that game. And be throwing the ball with. They're going to be going over to the ref asking for extra time like it's a FIBA World Cup game. Like, can we please put more time on the clock because of our celebration so that we can continue to put points up on them?
Mm-hmm.
Clemson, I don't see them beating Clemson.
Right.
Boston College at Pitt. That's going to be. The wheels could have already fallen off by that point.
Yeah.
North Carolina State at home, and then Florida. I mean, that's 4 losses.
No, yeah. I mean, Florida State, it doesn't look strong for Florida State. In a weak ACC where you could have a Dabo Swinney get fired, you could have a James Franklin completely take over the SEC.
Talking about Dabo getting fired. Dabo is never getting fired. Dabo could go 0-12 this season and not get fired.
I disagree. I mean, you cannot.
Would he retire? Would he quit?
I mean, you listen to what he said at media days. I mean, he will not touch the transfer portal again. He is done with the transfer portal.
I 100% understand where you're coming from with that. There is 0.0000000.
Think about the players that he could have had over the years in the transfer portal.
There's 0.000% that Clemson fires Dabo Swinney. Now, is there hey, he comes out and it's time for me to go. Let me get my hat, tell everybody bye. The bar's closing? Possibly. But hey, get your stuff. And actually, as a matter of fact, get out. We'll get your stuff. Not happening.
I don't think there's a world where Dabo Swinney's the head coach of Clemson in 2027. Rather, he is forced to retire, forced to quit.
He would do the Nick Saban, hey, this game is not, this isn't what I signed up for.
So, hold on. Do we have a better shot at Dabo Swinney pulling a Nick Saban and saying that this is done, this game is not the same game I love anymore, this, and that? Or do we have a better shot at him pulling an Urban Meyer at Florida?
Ooh. I would like to hope that the character of which Dabo Swinney has presented for the last 2 decades
doesn't end with a fake heart attack.
Does not end with a fake heart attack. Because the persona that he has carried, good, bad, or ugly, whether you love him or hate him,
dad on top.
He would do a Nick Saban.
Right.
What Urban Meyer did was just, I guarantee you, if you got 2 beers into Urban Meyer, he would even admit, yeah, that was dumb.
Well, I mean, Urban Meyer has a image about him. He did what he did at Jacksonville with the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
he keeps following up though. I mean, he ended up on big noon kickoff.
No, there's nothing wrong with Urban Meyer's career. He's done fine for himself. There's a lot of blemishes.
I would love to get fired from somewhere and then pay me $50 million for getting fired, and then me land a gig making
That's what we all said Brian Kelly should have. That's what Ed Orgeron was fine. He didn't care. He was done.
What door do you want me to walk out?
He didn't care. Right? That's what Brian Kelly should have done with his buyout. Brian Kelly's the best buyout in sports. Oh, honestly, the second part of that prediction where I said that Fickle was going to Cincinnati, next head coach Wisconsin will be Brian Kelly. Wisconsin is going to win that offseason if that happens.
No, because Brian Kelly's not a good coach.
Yes, he is. He can't win the big one. That's true. Brian Kelly can't win the big one. But if you're Wisconsin and you want a consistent 9-10 win team, Brian Kelly's your head coach. It is not the same home run as James Franklin. James Franklin obviously might cannot win the big one, but in the ACC is going to be darn good. Brian Kelly in the Big Ten with Wisconsin, who could get back to their roots of their consistency.
How do you do it? LSU.
He can't win the big one. That's the issue with Brian Kelly. He put together solid rosters. He had a Heisman.
Okay.
He had a Heisman at LSU. Okay. Big Ten's not that hard. Here we go again with Rudy the Box. Okay. Big Ten's not that hard. You have to win against Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and that's if they're on your record, and Indiana. That's if they're on your schedule.
At most, you get 3 of those.
Yeah. You might get 2. You might get 3 of those.
Yeah. And then the rest of your schedule is Rutgers, Northwestern, and Iowa.
Yes. Iowa's a good team.
Yeah, but
Iowa's a solid.
Iowa's no better than
Wisconsin
Florida.
and Iowa. Yeah, but Wisconsin and Iowa, that's a good game on Saturday.
Yeah.
If Wisconsin's good. If Brian Kelly were to come to Wisconsin and they have to play Iowa, that's a game that you could bet on Big Noon kickoff.
Okay. My head hurts thinking that Brian Kelly is
not going to win a national championship.
No, ever.
Especially if he goes to Wisconsin. He won't win a national championship. But what will happen?
He would if he went to Indiana, though. Brian Kelly at Indiana would win a national championship. He might win 6 in a row because Indiana is the greatest football program in the history of college football.
You got me there. But
they may go
Brian Kelly
60-0.
If he was at Wisconsin, would win consistently 9 to 10 games. He would not he might make one playoff. He would not win a Big Ten championship.
So basically,
he would never win a national championship.
So Franklin at Penn State.
No, I disagree. I think Franklin has higher odds for Penn State. It's ACC.
Okay, so
He'll make the playoff.
No, I'm saying Franklin when he was at Penn State, he could never.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the mantra. You would literally have Franklin at Penn State.
Is Wisconsin willing to sign up for that?
Yes. You think Wisconsin is trying to win a national championship year in and out? I don't think their fans know that. I don't think their fans care about that. They care about consistency. They care about 9 to 10 wins a season.
So I absolutely love the fact that I went to the game when Alabama played at Wisconsin. Sitting beside me, this guy had to have been late 60s, season ticket holder for Wisconsin since Jump Around became a song.
Right.
And he looked at me at one point. He goes, I got to tell you something. Because I've been here for some big games, Ohio State, Michigan, some big games. He goes, this is the most visitors I have ever seen at a Wisconsin game. And I said, that's fun. Wait till the 4th quarter when you start hearing our chants. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's fine. Just wait for it. So Alabama was winning the game. We took their quarterback out like on the 6th play of the game.
Yeah.
They did jump around,
right?
Which was freaking awesome, by the way. I got to give it to Wisconsin. That is such a cool tradition. But apparently the second tradition that no one talks about at Wisconsin is that the second jump around is over, their student section is also over. There was like 8 people. There were tens of fans in their student section. And you literally heard, Alabama. And the guy looks over, the guy sitting beside me goes, is that y'all Alabama in their stadium?
Yeah.
He's like, you were serious about that y'all will just take over. I was like, yeah, we kind of. Yeah.
I want to just hear jump around from the Alabama fans.
It was awesome. I have a recording of our team on the sideline jumping up and down for jump around.
Think about how comparable this whole thing is, right? Okay. One, if Wisconsin was actually fighting for a playoff spot, you know how intimidating jump around would be if you actually got the fans engaged?
Yeah. Okay.
It would be really intimidating. Right? Okay. But think about how comparable this is. Okay. We talked about, if Brian Kelly were to go to Wisconsin to be the Penn State of James Franklin and Penn State, the Big Ten, right?
Yeah.
Okay. On top of that, you have this whole thing work around with the hiring of James Franklin of Virginia Tech. They have one of the most enticing traditions in college football as well.
Yes.
With Sandman.
Yes,
Sandman,
yes,
okay? Yes. You have a Brian Kelly going to Wisconsin, taking over that situational role of we're going to consistently have 10 wins and never win the big one.
Okay.
Okay? Their tradition is jump around. It's another school with a tradition like that. I think it's a direct comparison. This is exactly what's supposed to happen.
Okay.
Now, this is way too early to. I mean, Brian Kelly's out of a job right now, but it's he's not out of a job. He's still working, but it's a consultant role. It's not. Really,
I just don't think Brian Kelly is even good enough to take Wisconsin to 10 wins consistently.
I think he can
I think he's
win with the recruiting of the Big Ten.
I think he's a 7-8 win team at Wisconsin.
Look, he did good at Notre Dame. I didn't say great. He did good.
Yeah. His accent at LSU was amazing. I wonder if he can pick up a Midwestern one.
First, yes. I think he might naturally have a Midwestern one.
Yeah. So
it could work out even better, right? Okay, so we started this with Mike Norvell at Florida State, right?
Yeah. We just got completely off the track.
We did.
There's an Indiana fan in the chat, and it's just threw us completely off.
Norvell at Florida State. If he could upset an Alabama again this year, would that change the trajectory of Florida State? Does he buy another year even with 7 wins if he could beat Alabama?
7 with one of them being Alabama, which means you still lose to Clemson, Miami, Florida.
Your most important – Alabama ain't the important game here.
No.
You don't need to make a statement. You need to win conference games.
Yes. No, it's not, because if they turn around and lose – let's say they lost to SMU.
Yeah.
Because they're looking forward towards Alabama the following week.
Right.
You get the doors blown off of you by Miami. Clemson just comes in there and reminds you who's your daddy. And then because then you're completely out of the ACC. You're in the realm of Duke and North Carolina State in the ACC. So then no, the Alabama game doesn't save you. On the contrary, the Alabama loss, but you win Clemson or Miami could, because then you're creating some fuss in the ACC. Honestly,
I think Florida State
being good is good for college football.
It is. 100%.
Miami being good for college football.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, Oklahoma being good is good for college football. Yes, Indiana being good is good for college football.
Right.
Norvell appears by every matrix possible as a good coach. Florida State, by all metrics, is a good football program. Why the two of them cannot come together and make it work doesn't make sense to me. My words could completely be turned back around me in 365 days if Kellen DeBoer doesn't have a good season this season with Alabama.
Look, I don't think that, there's no denying Florida State's a good program. Mike Norvell is a good coach. He has had a close to unblemished season as possible, and not a lot of coaches can say that.
Right.
At the highest of highest levels in the group, in the power
fell apart.
And it completely fell apart. I think a lot of confidence was hit by that. But Norvell has absolutely wrapped Florida State around his finger. Pretty much a $50 million buyout at the end of the season.
Yeah, but for Florida State, let's be honest, $50 million.
They'll survive. There's no issue of surviving for Florida State. It's chum money for them.
That's
all right.
Yeah,
no issue at all. But it's hard to stomach as an athletic department firing your $50 million head coach. And it's not like you don't have LSU money. LSU's just printing money at the governor's mansion. That's all they're doing.
You would think Florida State would have, a war chest somewhere of money, but you're right. For whatever reason, they don't appear to.
Yeah.
Which, if we really wanted to get down into it, if it really was money, you know who would have the best team in the country now? Harvard.
They don't do athletic scholarships.
Right, but they got
Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers.
Rutgers has some of the best talent in the country coming out of
Northwestern.
Well,
there is a stupid amount of money at a Northwestern.
Rutgers is one of those programs that should be good because they have a stupid amount of players coming out of the region.
Yeah.
In high school. Okay, not only that,
they're the best
they
team.
Invented football.
They're the best. It's sad to say, Rutgers is the best team in New Jersey, New York, Boston.
Did you put Rutgers above Buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maine, if you looked at the New England states, Rutgers should just absolutely that should be studied. Why Rutgers is not better?
They should be better. I mean, honestly, they invented college football. They have an immense amount of recruits coming for the region.
We don't have the money for a 30 for 30. Could we do a 10 for 10? And
it's true.
Why Rutgers isn't good?
7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. JOX Huntsville. If you want to hit us up, you can do so on YouTube at Off the Bench CFB Show and on Facebook at Off the Bench. If you want to get in on the show here, you can do that. If you're on the radio side, jump over here and you can jump right back over to the YouTube or right back over to the radio side. If you would like to get into that comment section just a little bit. We're going to go over media days. If you guys have any questions about media days, what would you ask the head coaches in the SEC about media days? Do you ask DeBoer about the stability there? Just any questions at all. How's Byron Brown going to do quarterback? What would you ask Coach Kayla DeBoer and Coach what's Florida State? What is Auburn's head coach now?
Golish,
Coach Alex
Golish. The Russian.
Yes. What would you ask both those individuals if you were asking questions at media days? You can hit us up right here in the comments. 7:30 a.m. 103.9 FM. JOX Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alpine, co-host Richie Jones, sitting to the left of me. Guys, if you're on the radio side, you want to get on the show here today, you can. Hit us up in the comments sections. If you have any questions for media days, what would you ask the SEC head coaches? Is the question of the day here. If you had the utmost opportunity to go and discuss with a Kirby Smart, a Kalen DeVore, Alex Gullish, whoever you would like, what questions would you ask the head coach of either your respective team or another team in the SEC? You could do that on YouTube at Off the Bench CFB Show and on Facebook at Off the Bench.
Assume that the coach has to be honest.
Yes, if the coach, well, I mean, they're going to have a pre-record. They're going to have a script.
I know, but they're going to give.
The goal is to get the script out of them and move to other things.
Okay, the question should be the better question. Not if you're at media days and you get to ask them. You get to find Kellen DeBoer at the bar after, and you're off the record,
right?
And you could actually ask a question and get a legit answer. What would you ask?
How do you plan to combat the running game at Alabama?
Ooh.
I mean, I'd have to hit on running game for Alabama. It'd have to be that. I think that's the glue to the entire team that's been missing the last couple of years is a running game.
You asked that over starting quarterback, over...
Yeah, I think it's already set. I think there's not a bad decision at quarterback.
Okay.
Mack or Russell, either way, you're going to have the best backup in the country. One of the best backups in the country. And on top of that, you're going to have a darn good, talented quarterback who's starting.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's kind of already answered.
Okay.
Running back, we still have questions about. Okay, so as we get into it, I will go team by team, and these are the questions that I would ask for each coach.
Okay.
On the surface, and these are pretty raw questions. I didn't go too deep into them because there were so many. For Alabama, who is leading the quarterback competition? And can Alabama repair its run game?
Yeah.
Those are the two questions I would ask. I think the defense is kind of set in stone. There's a lot of talent on there. You just have to figure out where to put the guys. Quarterback position, it's definitely a big question mark, but at the same time, that question mark is going to be answered pretty effectively.
I would even go a little bit different.
Okay.
If the season was to start tomorrow,
right?
Are you 100% confident with the decision you've made at starting quarterback?
I think either way you can be confident in it. Yeah.
Well, but you could be. Both guys are great, but as a coach, am I 100%
for the team? What best fits the team?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's how I would ask it. If the season started tomorrow, and you had to have you've got to turn in your piece of paper as to who the starting quarterback is. Are you 100% confident with that decision?
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. For Auburn, Alex Gullish here.
Mm-hmm.
What is the minimum acceptable record for the Auburn Tigers?
6-6.
You think minimum in Alex Gullish's first season, 6-6 can be acceptable? These fans are hungry, and the problem with Auburn is they expect more than they should.
You said acceptable. Auburn, it's 15-1's not acceptable.
That's the deal. Auburn is not this glorified national championship history. Well, they are now with all the added ones they had last year, but in reality, they think that they should be competing for a national championship every 4 years. It's not the case with Auburn.
Auburn thinks they should be competing for a national championship every season in every sport, and the last time they did so has been a minute.
Yeah. I'd also ask, can Byron Brown succeed in the SEC?
I think the answer is that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably the most capable quarterback of doing so. The issue with Byron Brown is because the spring game, he did terrible. It was actually very, very similar to the Cam Newton spring game that he had with the Auburn Tigers. So I would think that Byron Brown is going to be immediately, his legs are going to take over in the games. Mm. And that's what a lot of people say about Byron Brown is he's a very mobile quarterback. His talent really isn't passing the ball. He's going to run all over you. So in the spring game, nobody really got to see that because they can't tackle the quarterback. You can't touch the quarterback, and they really don't want him moving that much.
Yeah, and does he get scared and run, though?
That's the issue. I mean, you have to have the offensive line. If you're going to have a running quarterback, you have to have an acceptable offensive line. And with Chris Kaplovic, I think that's terrible. That is not what Kaplovic does. So, I mean, we're going to see what Auburn. Georgia, here's the question I'd ask for Kirby Smart. Has Georgia lost any of its championship edge?
Ooh. I like the way you worded that, too. Mm-hmm. Because are they still hungry?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's one thing to have a great team.
Like, and don't get me wrong, like the feeling that I have from Georgia fans right now, they're just not like when Kirby was first there, when they were in that national championship era, when they had won so much. I mean, Kirby is supposed to be the next Nick Saban. That's out the door. He's not going to have that type of success in this era. But the problem is now is I just don't hear that from the fans.
It's almost,
and that's the problem you're going to have with a multi-time championship winning coach. They're just not as hungry as they were.
Same could be said for Ohio State.
Yeah.
That could be, I know that our Hoosier buddies in the chat, is Indiana still that hungry? Are they still willing to go out there and put in the work that needs to be put in to go 16-0, to win a national championship? It is LSU that hungry?
Look, and don't get me wrong with Indiana. Like, I think Cignetti's a phenomenal coach. Yeah. I think he truly represents what I would represent as a head coach.
Yes, absolutely.
He is the way he handles things, the way he coaches, how he's willing to adjust, just like Nick Saban did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you ask Saban, you know, what would he have done earlier in his career? This is an actual quote from him. I used to run a show called the Johnny Ballpark Frank Show in JOX Huntsville. And he had the opportunity one time to ask Saban, what would you, at media days, what would you have done? What would you tell your younger self? And Saban said to run the spread from his beginning of his career.
Yeah.
And so Alabama, you know, Nick Saban was one of those guys who was willing to adjust to the game, and he did so. It got to a point where he didn't want to adjust, but he did adjust when he needed to throughout his career. And eventually that led to the spread offense. So, you know, I do want to go back to the Georgia question here. I just don't think that the edge is still there. Indiana, I think no matter what, I think they are going to be consistent, but I don't think they're going to live up to the expectation what a lot of people have set for them. And the expectation is that Cignetti's the next Nick Saban. And that is just not an accurate statement to any parts. Come back with 2 more national championships and we'll talk. Right now, it's just not the
come back with 2 more.
Living with is you're setting these expectations so high for Cignetti that, you know, right now they want to build a statue for Cignetti already. But I think it just speaks to the program of what they're all about when it takes so little to get a statue there.
Yeah.
They just don't have that higher end. And I know this statement probably sounds terrible, especially to an Indiana fan, but they don't have the top part of the program, the athletic director. If they're already talking about a statue for 1 national championship, that's not where you should want your program to be.
We can't talk. We put a statue up after his first.
After Nick Saban's first?
Yeah.
I retract my statement. I'll live by what it said, but I retract the statement. Okay. Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns. Is 2026 a national championship or bust season?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think
that may be
Sark
the easiest.
Is going to go somewhere. I think he's going to go to the NFL.
I think that's the easiest question you've asked so far.
This is Arch live or die right here.
Because Arch is going to the NFL.
Yeah, and the question is he going to be an early first-round pick or a late first-round pick right now? Because I think somebody takes that shot.
I think he's a top 5.
It depends what kind of season he has.
Okay.
You know, is he Superman? Is he going to be the Superman that everybody thinks he is, or is he just an average quarterback?
I don't think he's an average quarterback. I think he's headed to New York. He may not hold the trophy up, but he's headed to New York.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fair. He could be in the Heisman race.
Okay.
LSU. Did Sam Levitt immediately lead a championship contender?
Can he? Yes. This season, given everything they got in front of them, no.
So if you don't know, Levitt kind of gave up on his team last year at Arizona State. You know, so if LSU were to go deep and say, if LSU is sitting toward the end of the season with 4 losses or 3 losses, and you're sitting in the face of a 4th loss, I think Levitt gives up and he starts preparing for the NFL.
Could very possibly be.
You know, so especially with his injury concerns, Levitt's a very good quarterback, but I just don't know if he is that type of quarterback to have that mindset and go compete for a championship when it's needed, even when his team is down in the dust early in the season.
Is he hungry?
Right. Yeah. The question is always, is he hungry?
Yep.
So we're going to get into more on the other side. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. D. Smith hit us up on YouTube. Eminem said, I can't be your Superman.
He did say that. I believe that was Mariah Carey at the beginning of that album, the record.
I don't. It's been so long. I can't say the last time I listened to Eminem. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM. Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Alfine, co-host Richie Jones, sitting to my left.
Howdy.
Guys, best way to support the show is here. Like, subscribe, share the show out there. Let us know what we're doing. That is the best way to support the show here on the Off the Bench College Football Show. Or, super chat's always a thing. You can help us out that way. But the best way is just to like, share, and subscribe to the channel here on Off the Bench. So we've been talking about the upcoming SEC Media Days, and there's a couple more questions I want to ask specifically about all of the SEC here.
Okay.
Which SEC coach faces the most pressure entering Media Days?
Pressure in general, or pressure is, to get fired?
General.
Oh, LSU.
It's Lane completely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's expectations for Lane, but there's no firing risk this season.
Correct. So just the pressure in general. is Lane.
Right.
Fired is probably DeBoer.
You think?
As far as
I think Alabama definitely faces pressure. I mean, Adrian Clem faces a lot of pressure at the offensive line, seeing if and DeBoer faces that pressure because he brought in Clem to replace Kaplovich.
Yeah.
So there's pressure on the team.
I mean, if the wheels just completely fell off.
Yeah, if the wheels completely fell off, then it's done. You probably won't see DeBoer. You would see him fired probably after the season. That's just how it's going to be handled, I think, with Greg Byrne.
He just needs to stay long enough for Dabo to retire so we don't have to hear that crap anymore.
You're still going to hear that stuff, and you might even see Dabo on a position coach list for Alabama here in the near future. Wide receiver, maybe? Former wide receiver, Dabo Swinney.
Let's just bring Belichick so we can just complete
the circle.
Yeah.
Complete the whole circle and get Belichick in town.
Anyway, as far as just straight up pressure,
yeah,
LSU and Lane because of Lane,
right?
Because of who Lane is, because of what he did last season, how he left Oxford, Mississippi, Florida with their coach and everything. Because I think. I think the fans have put undue burden on teams like Vanderbilt, Arkansas. I could see.
Arkansas has Silverfield now from Memphis, but there's questions around Silverfield. There's a lot of questions around Silverfield.
Texas is Texas.
I mean, Texas has pressure.
Is Texas back?
That's going to be the whole mantra every year around Texas. If they don't finish the loop of winning a national championship, is Texas back? And when they win that national championship, obviously Texas is back. But did Texas ever really go away? I mean,
yeah.
Mac Brown was there for how many championships Mac Brown won in Texas?
Enough. It was 2 or 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I would like for Texas to finally win and bury somewhere on campus. Oh, Texas is back sign and declare that we are never saying that crap ever again.
D. Smith hitting us up on YouTube. Is there a world where Kalen gets the boot and Bama brings in Cignetti? No, I think Cignetti's an older guy. He's going to remain there at Indiana. He's blanketed success around him. He's got a blanket of security around the fans. I think just like Lane does at LSU, there's a blanket of security from the fans. And anything that Alabama throws at Cignetti's way, Indiana's going to match it. And they're probably going to match it with more as they just invest in their football program. But at the same time, Cignetti, the way he leaves college football is he was going to groom an assistant to be the next head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, and Cignetti's going to move into a role similar to Saban.
And Cignetti is at a point right now. If he was to have a playoff team this season, he would be in the same boat, in my opinion, as Dabo is currently at Clemson. No matter what, they will never fire him.
I think Cignetti is a god.
He gets to write down on a piece of paper what day is his last day as a Indiana Hoosier head coach.
I mean, they might as well. It's the state is Cignetti. No, that's not it. Indiana
Cignetti.
Cignetti.
I like Cignetti.
Cignetti. I didn't come up with that. Matthew Miller came up with that from Texas Live. So I hope I got it right. I think I butchered it. Okay, so but my thing about the pressure within the SEC, I think I'm actually on 2 different wavelengths from the pressure size.
Okay.
I think South Carolina faces the utmost pressure to win now or Beamer's gone. You have Lenore Sellers in your last season. It's very similar to Texas.
If you're talking about just coaches, yes.
Yes. I think in terms of that, I think South Carolina has a lot of pressure from that as well. Ole Miss, Pete Golding handed the keys to the college football team after Kiffin leaves. You have 2 Heisman candidates on your offense in Kawan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss.
Mm-hmm.
If you fail big.
Yes, but I think he's got an out with if they were to fail this season. So I don't think the pressure is as much on this season.
What is he out?
What do you mean?
He just competed for a national championship. He Goldie did. They're expecting nothing less.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
He didn't.
Pete Golding did.
No.
Who was the head coach?
Who
was the head coach that shocked played Georgia?
That was Lane's team.
Pete Golding was the head coach of that team. He is the one that brought them together to compete for the rest of that season after Kiffin left.
I was told there's a whole congressional law because of that being Kiffin's team.
I would argue that Pete Golding is credited with that success no matter what the law says.
Here's my thing. He was in the perfect position because if they win, look how great he is.
Yeah.
If they lose,
you got an excuse.
Blame it on the last guy.
Here's the problem, though. He raised expectations in Oxford. He raised expectations a lot. And when you have returning players like Trinidad Chambliss and Kwan Lacey, you have to win.
I can see that, but I think he's got a little more runway than you're giving him credit for.
I think maybe, possibly, but I think that the pressure cooker is getting hot, and you're starting to steam over there in Ole Miss because of the expectations you set and the returning players you have. So, in terms of Pete Golding's longevity at Ole Miss, I think what he did last year was completely, raise the opportunity for more. Hey, we're going to give you 4 years to build this thing. No, you have a year to build this thing, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And if you do not, depending on how roster management goes these next couple of years.
I see where you're going with that.
He has just completely redid the expectations of when he was hired. All right, you got 4 years. If you don't win the national championship this year, you got 4 years to come back and compete for it. No, not anymore.
All right, that's true. That's
not
true.
anymore.
Like 3.
You have
tops.
3 tops,
including your
and
first
that's it,
year.
right?
Yeah, you're not given.
Yeah.
Which is why we're having to fire coaches in before Halloween and get the new coach in before Thanksgiving, so they can go ahead and start. They're really getting 3.5 years. But
so I got 2 more questions here, and we got to quickly do these. Which team will receive too much preseason hype?
LSU.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's bad about it. I think it's LSU or Texas. LSU or Texas.
I think Texas deserves the hype they got.
Yeah.
LSU is yet to be seen.
Okay. What question should every reporter ask Caitlin DeBoer?
Who's the starting quarterback?
Who's the starting quarterback? It's pretty much it right there. I think there's.
How's the offensive line look?
As the offensive line. That's right. I think
really and truly, that's probably more important because, like you said, we got 2 good quarterbacks.
Right.
How's the offensive line?
How's the offensive line looking? Right. I think that's a more important question to ask than who's the quarterback.
Yeah.
How's the offensive line? Because that's going to set the tone for the running backs and the quarterbacks. Running back. Or you have questions, but I think they're good answers too.
I could, if he would give a legitimate answer.
Yes. Oh, I got another one too.
Mr. DeBoer.
Yeah.
Coach DeBoer. How is your team different with quarterback A?
Yeah, and B.
Versus quarterback B? And how has that played into your decision of who will start?
I got another question here. Which freshman will receive the most playing time?
Ooh.
You have 3 very talented freshmen on this roster that are likely blue chips and who could start.
Yeah.
Sedarian Morgan, EJ Carell, and Xavier Griffin on the linebacker side.
Probably. Ooh.
I think it's more Sedarian Morgan because the Noah Rodgers injury, you're going to create more playing time for him, and he's already got a defined role in the team.
There's not a bad answer to that question.
There's not a bad answer to that question. 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jack Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. We'll be right back. with us as well. Richie with a reminder that we're muted on the YouTube side.
I do what I can.
You do it, guys. Guys, remember to like, subscribe, and share the show. It's the best way to support us here at the Off the Bench College Football Show. We still have the World Cup going on. Don't forget about that. Tonight at
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Oh, today at 4 o'clock, actually.
4 o'clock. I'm sorry.
Today at 4 o'clock, France and England will square off for third place in the World Cup. Right now, France is sitting at a 67% odds to win that game. And then tomorrow night, the World Cup final.
That one's at 2 o'clock. Yeah.
2? People are wrong here. No, yes, the World Cup final tomorrow is live at 2 o'clock. Spain with a 59% chance to beat Argentina tomorrow.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Okay,
Let's go Messi.
Who is a bigger? I think we talked about this, and now we've had a little bit of time to let it die down. Who's more popular in football right now? Football.
In football?
Is it Lionel Messi or Erling Haaland?
Or Freddie. Freddie's back, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Freddie's back, but he doesn't play soccer.
Yeah, but he's pretty popular.
He is. This is his last week in America. I feel so bad for him.
Like current right now, I think in the US, what's his name?
Erling Haaland.
Mr. Haaland is hugely popular. He took back a stuffed raccoon with him.
He did, and it was awesome.
And a squirrel drinking a beer.
Did you see what he was playing the other day?
He was playing
golf at Ella Langley on a boat.
Yeah.
That's the most American thing
I saw a tweet that said the USA would like to propose a trade to Norway, the entire United States men's soccer team, and it was either 10,000 or 100,000 window AC units.
I heard the projected, because I think Sweden's a little too far north. Or is he Norway or Sweden?
He's Norway.
Norway, okay.
Yeah. So
Norway's a little too far north.
They could use the heater version, in the winter.
They could.
In other crazy news, the first ever 40+ 10 rebound game in WNBA history happened yesterday with Caitlin Clark, 45 and 10.
Shocker. She's the best player in the entire league.
Oh, I was told that they would be better off without her.
Oh, well, I'd like to see that happen. Yeah. I would. I think they would completely fold now since they're taking half the money from the NBA. To maintain the
half. No, the NBA literally subsidizes the entire WNBA because it I think it's like a $60 million loss.
Look, there's no hate on the WNBA. I just don't think it's entertaining. I think there are a couple of you need more players besides your Caitlin Clarks of the world to be consistent like they are.
The biggest problem with the WNBA is too many teams, and so your little bit of
didn't
talent,
let it grow like it should.
Their little bit of talent is too spread out to be a good watchable product.
Right. 100%.
You'll have a team like the Indiana Fever who have Caitlin Clark, who is probably the best player on the court every night of the week, but then the rest of her team is like not great.
Right. So I heard the projected trade for Erling Haaland would be Paul George.
I'm willing to sign that right now.
I'm willing to sign a Paul George trade.
I would give up Tiger Woods at his current age and ability.
Yeah, I would give up LeBron too.
Ooh.
I mean, we're about to hear a big signing of LeBron. LeBron's the decision part 2. I have heard from unreliable sources that he has enrolled his daughter in a school in Philadelphia.
Ooh.
Him and Jaylen Brown possibly teaming up.
I will say this about the NBA, and before we get off there, Philadelphia would be the best team for him to go to.
7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. Guys, remember, same time, same channel next week, 9 a.m. to 11.